What's up, everyone? My name is Chris Fanzon. You are listening to the Hidden Doors podcast. And upcoming, we have a book review for Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And at the end of this video, don't forget we do a word of the day. And so don't forget to say to the end of the video so you can hear that and build your vocabulary. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up on this video. Hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date on more videos like this. I hope you enjoy. All right, what's up, everyone? So we have the book review for Can't Hurt Me. It's a book by David Goggins, and it's been on the Amazon charts for 160 weeks. It's pretty incredible. 160 weeks. I've seen this book for a long time. Every time I go to buy a book on Amazon, I always see this book, and I always pass through it. And I'm disappointed because it was such an amazing book. So it's been on the Amazon charts for 160 weeks. It's by David Goggins. If you don't know who David Goggins is, David Goggins is an American ultramarathon runner, an ultra-distance cyclist, triathlete, public speaker, and an author. He's a retired United States Navy SEAL and former United States Air Force Tactical Air Control Party member who served in the Iraq War. And he has his memoir, Can't Hurt Me, and it was released in 2018. So at the end of 2018, it was published. The book is 364 pages. The price for a Kindle is $8.99. Price for a paperback is $17.99 as of January 1st, 2022. Okay, so what is this book about? This book is a memoir. It's a memoir of his life from childhood to present day, and he has a crazy life, this guy. It is insane. It makes everyone's life seem just like mediocre. So it's about his life from childhood to present day. He had a rough childhood, this guy. His dad was a nut job. I'm actually curious to see if he's ever talked to his dad after his childhood. But his dad was a nut job, and be prepared for a few things. Be prepared for curses. David Goggins likes to throw out the F-bomb a lot, which is pretty funny. It's pretty awesome. Two is this is raw. This is a raw book. No filters. He's not going to put things nicely for you. He's going to inspire you, but it's not going to be nicely inspired. You're going to almost look at your current life and say, what am I doing? What is going on here? He's gonna inspire the hell out of you, but it's gonna be a raw talk to you. Raw talk about his life and raw talk about how to be successful in life. And you'll see there's a lot over and over again, a lot of feats, a lot of challenges that David faces in his life, and it almost seems like impossible to accomplish, or it just seems unheard of, or something that a regular person maybe like me, or an average person just might say, yeah, you know what, I'm not going to do this. And it seems like he overcomes these challenges which seem crazy, and it's over and over again. So it's one of those things I always talk about. It's if you keep knocking down challenges that you initially think are way too hard, you start thinking nothing's impossible. You start being afraid of fear. You just start going after anything. And that's a really great mindset to have. And he seems to have accumulated a really great mindset, because almost everything he's ever gone after, whether he has to do it multiple times because he's fallen on his face, or he's initially didn't meet the cut, he's tried again and again and again and again. And in most cases, he comes out ahead. So this book is really, I don't know, you want to call this whatever you want to call him. And if this book is 100% truthful, this guy seems like the toughest person in the entire world. And you're getting an inside look into how he thinks. Like when you maybe see someone do something really crazy multiple times, you just see the outside of it. The shell of confidence that they put on, but you don't know what they're thinking deep down inside. Did they want to quit at a certain point? But really confident people might not show that. But deep down inside, what do they think? How do they get through those incredibly hard barriers? This is the book that gets inside his head. From running on fractured legs. This guy runs on fractured legs. I think his shins were like fractured during Navy SEALs training, and he taped them up, and he had to finish SEALs training because it was one of his like most desired goals, and he had, I think, one last chance or something like that to finish SEALs training, and I believe his shins or something was just like fractured, and he taped them up, and the first like hour of each day, it was most excruciating pain, he mentions. And then after the adrenaline kicks in, he ends up being fine. But yeah, running on fractured legs. I feel like that was a common thing in this book, which is crazy. I don't think anyone should really do that. That's one of the things I mentioned. Like, I don't think I would. If I knew I had fractured legs, I don't know if I would do that. Fractured legs. He has been through Hell Week 3 times. If you guys don't know what Hell Week is, it's something that the United States Navy SEALs go through. So before you become a SEAL, you have to go through this intensive training, which is arguably one of the toughest training weeks in the entire world for any military. And again, some of that was on fractured shins. He's competed and won multiple ultra races. Ultra races are like 100 miles, 150. Sometimes it could be over maybe 200 miles. And the first one he ran, he didn't do any training or any running on it. Sorry, any training. So he didn't run and practice how to run. He was in shape strength-wise. He did a lot of weightlifting, but he never practiced running. And that was like that was just one of those times where he was trying to run 100 miles. And I think at like 50, he thought he was going to like die. And somehow he mentally pushed through. At the end of it, I think he was like, at the end of all these things, he like almost, it seems like he needs to go to the ER. Almost every one of these crazy ass attempts, he's got like, his feet are like broken. He's like throwing up. His wife needs to like drag him into the car. He needs like potentially ER, go to the hospital. These are feats that are not regular things like, I work out really hard one day. These are like almost impossible feats. And at the end of it, he pushes through mentally so hard that physically his body can't even take it anymore. So he's run ultra marathons without doing any training. Then he's done more training on it. Then he's become more proficient at it. He holds the pull-up record. So the pull-up record, he's attempted it 3 times, failed twice, but the third time he actually done. I think it's the pull-up record. If it's still current, he did 4,030 pull-ups within 24 hours. Insane. I can get maybe 50. We'll see. I'm never going to attempt that. So he does all this. He has all these accomplishments, all these feats that he's conquered, and he's primarily credits it to the mentality. The physicality, yes, you need that, but you need the mentality to get the physicality. He probably, I don't know if he put a number towards it, but it's like 90% mentality from what I'm seeing. And he mentions that, I don't know if this is scientifically proven or if this is a well-known thing, but he says that most people only tap into 40% of their potential, meaning let's say you were going to run a 100-mile ultra run. At the point when you hit 40% of your fatigue and you want to quit, he's saying there's 60% more. 60% more if you push your body. Your body might look like a complete bloody mess at the end of it, but he's saying that you have the potential to reach that 60%. And he's not mentioning that that everyone has to do ultra marathons, but put this into any part of your life. If you want to get better grades in school, or if you want to be working on a project at work, and it takes time and effort, or if you want to eat more healthy, any aspect of your life, he mentions that you're tapping only into 40%. And if you keep pushing yourself and pushing yourself and pushing yourself, there's a 60% remaining that you can fight through. And that's a lot of time, that's a lot of dedication, that's a lot of effort. But if you pass through it, there's a lot of one, success that comes with it. Two is the fact that I mentioned before, is when you fight through something that seems initially almost impossible, and you have a number of those under your belt, you start to gain more confidence. You start to gain more confidence the next time something really hard comes. If you quit, or don't feel like going after something, or go after something, and after like 10% of the effort is in that's required, you quit, or you just say this is not for you, you can do that every once in a while. But if that's continuous, it's going to build into your mentality, and it's going to say, well, anytime something really hard comes my way, I'm not going to go after it. But if you're doing something like Goggins, maybe that's to the extreme. Maybe you only need half of Goggins, because that guy's a nut job. He's insane. But if you were applying the same mentality as Goggins, next time something incredibly difficult, impossible seeming came your way, you would not quit, or you would not be fearful, or you would not run away from the challenge. You'd go right after it. And that's sometimes what you need in this world. And so David Goggins talks about when he's at these really, really tough times, when he's doing a challenge, like running a marathon, or he needs to study for a test, because he had like a third grade reading skills, I think. I can't remember, but he was like in 12th grade, and he had like the proficiency of like a third grader when it came to reading and writing. And so that was hard for him to even take and pass the tests to get in, because there are literary tests, and there are other kind of like IQ tests, some kind of test that you have to get into the SEALs team. And that in and of itself took a lot of studying. So he had to study a lot. And so he has this metaphorical cookie jar. It's a metaphorical cookie jar that he has when he's at these really tough times, really hard times, where halfway through he wants to quit. This metaphorical cookie jar is, instead of cookies, it's a jar of all of the hard things that he's accomplished in his life. And it is something when you feel defeated, you feel like you're never going to make it, you feel like, you feel down on yourself, you're halfway through something that's really hard. The metaphorical cookie jar is something that you're supposed to take, out in your head. You're supposed to say, okay, well, what about this I've accomplished that I initially thought was impossible? What about this and this and this? And it's something that's supposed to give you a boost confidence to say, okay, I might right now be in a very, very difficult position, and I want to quit, and I don't even know if I can make it. The metaphorical cookie jar was for his technique for saying, you know what? I felt the same way 5, 6, 7, 8 other times, and I've crushed my goals. And now I'm feeling the same way. So I need to just push through, because these are similar situations as before. So one of the main techniques he has for pushing through is using this metaphorical cookie jar. And David Goggins is just someone that is never satisfied. This guy, I think he will always, until he's probably on his deathbed, always be attempting new records, pushing himself, whether mentally or physically. Again, this book is a good portion physically, but it's also a little bit mental, because he has to. When I say mental, what I really mean is like, if there's physical feats, and then there's like other feats where it's, I need to do good in school, I need to do good at my job. It takes a lot of, mental energy and effort to push through. You need to be smart. You need to be educated. You need to read books, that side of things, as opposed to like running and exercising. Both are really important. But the point of the book is to inspire you for all aspects, you know. You're not educated enough, or you're not educated on a certain topic, and you need to be in order to be more proficient at your job to get a promotion. Then you need to study your butt off, and you can use the same techniques that David Goggins talks about when he's ready to quit after running an ultra marathon, or in SEALs Hell Week for 3 times in a row when he wants to quit. Same techniques he mentions that you can use. It's just a different type of effort. So he had a rough childhood. He turned it around. One of the ways that he turned it around is that he had an accountability mirror, he calls it. He was, again, uneducated. He couldn't read and write past like a 3rd grade level. He blamed other people besides himself for the things that happened in his life. And that's easy to do because he had a tough life. He dealt with, racism. He dealt with a crazy dad, wasn't well off. He very easily could have blamed other people for his situation. And it came down to an accountability mirror. He would look himself in the mirror and start holding himself accountable as opposed to other people. And that is like that's the first day when he said, okay, no more of this bullcrap, mediocre, I feel down on myself, I blame everyone else life. Now I'm holding myself accountable. I'm getting into SEALs training. I need to study my butt off. I need to start being able to run many miles. And I think initially he lost 100 something pounds just to get into SEALs training. So it started with him holding himself accountable. Tough early childhood, way 10 to 50 times tougher than mine. And probably most people in this world, or in this country, United States, I live in the United States, probably in this country, more than people in this country. But he made it through by holding himself accountable. And so at the end of this book, he's been through all this crap. And at the end of it, he almost thinks he's dying. I don't know if he thinks he's dying or if he's almost dying, because he wasn't flexible enough. He wasn't even stretching. Think about all that. He's almost killed himself in all these feats. And at the end, he's almost dying because he's not even stretching. So I talk about I do a 30-minute routine in the morning. I did a podcast on this where people need to stretch. So you guys are doing all these things. I recommend stretching your butt off, because at the end of it, it's pretty ironic. This guy's been through battle and war and hell. He comes out of it and he's about to die because he's not stretching enough. He ends up doing fine, as you can tell, because he's all over the internet. But I guess that's a nice way to put it, to say you can do all these crazy things, but you need to take care of your health too. You can be doing all the ultra races and Hell Weeks and Navy SEAL and be the baddest person on the planet. Still, you need time to take care of yourself. Eating healthy, stretching, maybe meditating, exercising, going to sleep early. Don't put any crazy drugs and substances in your body. Take care of yourself, because it's those things that are going to put you behind. And it almost did it to him, but he, like David Goggins, the man himself, overcame that one as well. So that is the book review. I hope that you guys get a copy and enjoy the book. It will inspire the hell out of you. After I read this book, I was like, oh, I'm doing push-ups, I'm running. And the biggest thing is, he loved being uncomfortable. He loved putting himself in really uncomfortable positions. And I started doing that. I started following it. I started saying, oh, if I felt like I didn't want to run because it was cold and it's rainy and it's in December, and in December in New York, it gets really cold. If I even thought that, I was like, okay, just because I think that now, just because I don't want to do it because it's cold or uncomfortable, I'm going to go do it just to get myself uncomfortable. Because it's the more uncomfortable situations that you put yourself in that you start feeling normal in uncomfortable situations, and it's really those uncomfortable situations that are going to help you grow as a person. So this book inspired me to do that, mainly with a lot of the exercising, but just overall as a person. Start getting uncomfortable. Start challenging yourself beyond the point where you think you can't even do it anymore. David Goggins did it. David Goggins is a absolute nut job too, though. So get this book. It will inspire you. It's the story about David Goggins' life. He is an inspiring person. He's all over YouTube if you want to go check him out. And I will leave it there, and we'll move on to the word of the day, which is rejuvenate. And rejuvenate is a verb. It means give new energy or vigor to. Give new energy or vigor to. Semicolon, revitalize. In a sentence, the exercise and fresh air rejuvenated me. Some similar words are revive, revitalize, regenerate, restore, breathe new life into. So, go use this word in your conversations. Go build your vocabulary. I hope that you enjoyed this book review. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date on more videos coming down like this. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you enjoy 2022. Let's hope it's better than 2021. Have a good one.